Okay, welcome back to another episode of Lock It or Leave It. A lot of stuff has happened since our last time talking to you guys. FSU wins the Cheez It Bowl, beats Oklahoma. That was a great game. And then, dude, a lot of stuff happening in the transfer portal for the Noles right now. No one would rather talk about the playoffs and FSU than my co-host Cam. Cam, what's happening, man?
Yeah, good to be back. Exciting time for Knowles fans, I think. The preseason ESPN poll dropped. They got Florida State at number 4 above Alabama. This is a surprise to most people. Basketball's taking a curve too soon. We're got Baba Miller back tonight. Has his first game against Wake Forest. Should be a good one. Florida State's a slight underdog in that one, so we'll see if they can pull it out. But looks like they've turned a corner recently. Have been playing better. So lot to look forward to as a Florida State guy this year and heading forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good to see our name back with these top schools in this type of atmosphere and this type of setting. We're not out of the top 25 anymore. We are a staple top 15 team for the foreseeable future. With that being said, let's hop into the NFL playoffs. Cam and I really want to break down some of these games and our bets for you guys to make money this weekend. Let's start off. I don't want to talk too much about this game because it should be a landslide. We have Seahawks 49ers. Now, if you told me that Geno Smith would get traded for Russ, and Geno would be the better quarterback and the Broncos would lose the trade by a landslide, I wouldn't believe you. But look, here we are. The Seahawks are in the playoffs without a Hall of Famer in Russell Wilson. He's been cooking hot ass lately. If you've been following us, you know what that means. Cam, talk to me a little bit about the 49ers Seahawks, and then we'll hop into that Chargers Jags night game.
Yeah, I expect San Francisco to handle business in this one. I actually would have rather seen Detroit get this playoff spot instead of Seattle. I think that would have been a much better game to watch as well for Detroit fans, especially. And I just think their offense could actually compete with San Francisco. I just don't see it. That passing defense is number 4 in the NFL. I think that they're going to handle business against Geno Smith. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Debo could be back as well. I mean, Brock Purdy, Jimmy G, Jay Granderson. I don't care who's quarterbacking back there. They're going to handle business against Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, when Cam and I have our weekly Sunday conference call with Chad to get our bets in place right before the 1 o'clock slate, I said I kind of want to bet Packers because if the Seahawks win, Detroit's already out and the line might move. And in hindsight, like we always say, it's 2020. I was completely wrong. Detroit is one of those teams that I feel like might be more dangerous with nothing to lose. They knew going into that game, the only reason they were playing was to spoil the Packers season, and that was enough motivation for Dan Campbell and the Lions to pull off that upset. Now hopping into the next game, we have two young, promising QBs in the AFC. Trevor Lawrence versus Justin Herbert. Really excited for this game. Right now, I think it's Chargers -2 in Jacksonville. Cam, talk to me about this matchup and about the aerial attack that we might see in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I really wish I could go to this game. I expect this to be the most exciting game of the wild card rounds. It's exactly like you said. You got two young quarterbacks, especially the jump Trevor Lawrence has taken the last 8 games or so this season. Really looking like he's the guy we thought he was originally. I mean, just Jacksonville though, they're going the right direction. They're already in the playoffs this year, so you're going to get that playoff experience. Next year, you get Calvin Ridley back. I mean, this offense is only going to continue to get better. I expect this game to also to be a shootout as well. Love to see two good offenses go back and forth. I don't really have a good pick for this one. I mean, I honestly could see this one going either way.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. I mean, this is one of those games where I'm not betting, not putting my money anywhere near it. I'm just watching for enjoyment. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. Hopping
I
in,
though, if you did have to pick though, if you did have to pick, I'm gonna ride with the Jags. What do you think?
if I had to pick, I'm going Jags too. I mean,
Wow. All right.
dude, a team coming cross country to Jacksonville, that humidity. And hey, Chargers fans do not travel. I'll tell you that. They don't travel and they don't support their team when they're at home either. You see a lot of San Francisco fans or Cincinnati fans going and really being the crowd there at those games. So I would say the Jaguars crowd in Duval will pull through, staying away from that game. Let's hop into Sunday, Dolphins, Bills. Now you told me Skylar Thompson was already activated to start for that game. Dolphins already beat the Bills twice this season. Talking about this game a little bit, Cam.
Yeah, disappointing. Would like to see the Dolphins at full strength go head to head with the Bills again. I expect Josh Allen to continue to roll. I mean, it's in Buffalo. We know how that weather is for the Dolphins fans and stuff. I don't really see a way that Skylar Thompson's going to get the dub up there in Buffalo. So I expect this game to go similar to the Niners Seahawks game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a tip to anyone betting this game, -13 is a scary number. It's a very scary number. It's kind of in between that two touchdowns plus, it could be something else. Stay away from that. If I were you, I'd do some alternate lines, try to get tricky with it, be a little, think out of the box with this game. Because when we head to the next game, this is the one that Cam has upset written all over it. Talk to me about Giants, Vikings. The Vikings having a little, they're a little fraudulent, as one of our friends Chad would say. So talk to me about Giants versus Vikings and your pick for this game.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't really a surprise. The Vikings have been kind of shaky all season. Lots of ups and downs. That embarrassing defeat to the Cowboys. I can't remember what week it was. It was like 40-3. Lots of ups and downs for them. I mean, it is a toss up game. But if I had to pick a straight up upset for the underdog to take it, it would be this one. But I mean, Justin Jefferson can win any game any day of the week when if he decides to. So I mean, this should be a good one, but I think the Giants have they got some wheels in the secondary. They should be able to at least contain Jefferson a little bit, make Kirk Cousins beat you, and if you're making Kirk Cousins beat you, I like your chances of winning.
It's a great point. And the NFL did the Vikings dirty by not putting Kirk at 1 p.m. We're getting 4:30 p.m. Kirk. We're not getting prime Peyton Manning 1 p.m. Kirk Cousins on that kickoff. So interested to see what happens in that Giants Vikings game. Daniel Jones is up for a contract after this year. This is one of those games where you go in there, you beat the Vikings, the 2, the 3 seed, and hey, maybe they're offering you a couple more mil than they would have from before. Hopping into the next game, Ravens versus the Bengals. I know Blake is a little iffy about this one now. Lamar Jackson is out, you said. Is that correct?
I mean, he hasn't been officially ruled out, but all the reports say uphill battle, very unlikely, doubtful, words like that. So it's looking like we're either going to see Tyler Huntley if he can clear his protocol, or Anthony Brown again. Neither of those guys are going into Cincinnati beating Joe Burrow, however. So I'm riding with Cincinnati again. This one, this is another one of those games, just like the Buffalo Miami game, where it would be good if we didn't have quarterback injuries, but because of that, we are going to ride with the favorite and the better quarterback at home.
Yeah, now I'll talk a little bit more about that Ravens Bengals pick when we get into our actual bets for the weekend. But yeah, it's a tough one. The Bengals just beat the Ravens last week and they stomped all over them. So interested to see how the Ravens maybe fight back against that and how they can combat those problems. Now going to the sole Monday night game, we have Cowboys versus Tom Brady, who has never lost to Dallas in his NFL career. Wow, that's huge. Cowboys are visiting Tampa Bay, even though Tampa Bay snuck into the playoffs somehow, stealing that the NFC South championship. Cam, talk to me about Tom's chances of moving past the Cowboys.
I'd like to say there's no chance, yeah, I really would. I would love to say I would love to come on here and I would love to say that the Cowboys are going to go into Tampa and just smack them, even to the smell of Aaron and such. But at the end of the day, it is Tom Brady standing up on that hill. The one man you can never count out, and the one man you definitely don't want to be the other on the other side of, staring down the clock with 2 minutes to go and goal to go. So I mean, you never know. Can Tom Brady pull another one out of his ass? He might be able to. I mean, it's this Dallas defense is no joke, though. It is gonna take a lot for him to get this done. I did see a stat, however, that the Cowboys this season are they only have one win, I think, on grass on the entire season, which is bad. Tampa is a grass field. Obviously, they're used to playing on turf. Some say that that's going to slow the game down a little bit, allow for a more physical style of football, which does appeal towards Tampa Bay because that's the kind of style of offense they are. They're going to run it down your throat every single play with four net and tire you out, and then throw the deep ball to Mike Evans or Godwin. So I mean, there is a recipe for success in there. The Bucks can get this win, but I mean, I this is another one of those games where I'm steering clear of.
Absolutely, man. Now, Stephen A has a great quote that he always mentions the Cowboys with: "What can go wrong will go wrong." So we will see if the Cowboys can advance out of the first round for the first time in a long time. Now, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to what you guys wanted to hear, Cam and I's bets for this weekend. Don't go anywhere if you want to make some money. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are back from that break. Let's just hop right into this, man. Okay, so if you guys have been following the pod, it's that time of the year again. Playoff season means two things. It means that we throw fat on the Super Bowl coin toss, and then we have an annual $200 wild card round teaser. Now, 2 years ago when I started this, I had a nail-biting hitter. Cam remembers this. It was an absolute nail-biter, and it hit. Last year it did not. So far, I am 1-1 all time in my three-team special teaser.
Who sold you last year? Who sold you?
Oh man, I remember this clear as day.
I knew you would.
The Buffalo Bills absolutely went into New England and pounced on them. Or I think New England was the road team going into Buffalo. I think I took New England points, and in the first quarter, I was throwing baguettes outside of my house in anger. I'm not even lying. I was throwing frozen baguettes outside. It just an absolute travesty. It was terrible. But we will talk about how we're gonna move from 1-1 to 2-1 with this absolute lock of a three-team special teaser. I'm going to kick it off with the 49ers plus half. That means they just have to win the game. Now, what scares me is the Seahawks. Only 4% of people betting on money line in this game are taking Seahawks. 96% of money line bets are on San Francisco. That scares the hell out of me. But I can't imagine the Seahawks going into Levi Stadium and beating them. That's the first one in the three-team special teaser. The second one in the three-team special teaser, Bills -3. Now, we talked about earlier how the Dolphins have beaten them both times this season. Are they going to go for the three-peat in Buffalo after the Damar Hamlin situation? I think Buffalo is playing a good brand of football. They're all fired up. They're energized. I think they cover that spread -3. We're getting a whole 10 points down from that original line. And then we're going to the last one. This one is tough. Cam disagrees with me on this one. I got Bengals +1.5. I think we saw the Ravens lost to them twice in this season. It's the same, I guess, logic I had with the Dolphins Bills, but I'm flipping it on its side, and we're going Bengals to three-peat against the Ravens. I think Lamar sits out and shows the Ravens, hey, you guys need me more than I need you. Here's the result of me sitting out. You guys have nowhere to go, and your schemes and everything you try to run won't happen. So let me repeat that real quick. 49ers plus half, Bills -3, Bengals +1.5. We're putting 260 on it for 200. We're going big or we're not going at all. And Cam, let me hear your prize picks parlay.
Yeah, so everybody's favorite time of the day is Prize Picks. Obviously, use our code LEVE, LEVE, get your initial deposit match up to $100. And if you're a friend of mine or have been paying attention to my bets, I've been hot on Prize Picks lately. I have been. So if you really want to make some money and don't feel like sweating out 2 straight days of three-leg teasers with Jay, here's some instant action for you. See if and all you only need 3 guys. You only need 3 guys to do things versus whatever 52 times 3 is. So, it's just a way more. You're asking for way less. First play, Niners Seattle game. We're riding with Christian McCaffrey over 72.5 passing yards. 9.5 point spread, as we already touched on, towards San Francisco. I really think that they'll take care of business in this one. Run the ball with Kyle Shanahan. I don't see Gino and the boys being able to put up enough points to compete with them. So I just think they're going to run down the clock with Christian McCaffrey. Next leg, Saquon rushing touchdown in Minnesota. I already talked about the upset that's brewing there. That starts with Saquon scoring touchdowns. If Saquon doesn't score, there is no upset. That's just factual information. Last leg, the GOAT, Tom Brady. We already discussed against this, but he is throwing an interception against that Dallas defense in that game. So we're gonna take Tom Brady over half interceptions. I'm gonna say this, and then that he's gonna go for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. But that's why we're doing a flex play, because we can miss one of these and it'll still hit. So 200 pays out 450. Lock that in. Use our code LEAVE, Prize Picks.
Absolutely. Like Cam said, you can do a flex play or you can do the power play. And this one, he's choosing to flex 2 out of 3, and you still get 75% of the money that you would cash from that bet. great bet right there. Those are the things we'll be rocking with coming up. And follow our TikTok a little more. We'll be posting a little more of the in-depth analysis of why we're taking these picks. And with that being said, thank you guys for listening to this quick pod. We'll have a lot more coming soon. We've got basketball interviews coming back up again. Some Florida State players, some not, some coaches, some not. Keep your eyes and your ears peeled for what we have in store in the future. With that being said, we will catch y'all later. Peace.